Hello my friends, this is Gosha from Cosmic Agency. It's so hard to find a good spot where you can be quiet and uninterrupted and where the light looks more or less good. Well, today I will be talking about how it feels not to have any memory of past lives. And this is inspired by the recent video that Mari did on what it is like for her to remember past lives. So I was thinking, well, it could be interesting to share, also I think for them up there, what it is like not to remember past lives. Someone who is a starseed here on Earth, in the immersion, in the Tainketan immersion, what it is like not to remember anything. And yes, I do not remember anything. I do not have any memory of past lives. I have like glimpses of something, but I'm not gonna be talking about this here just because I don't want to distract from the main core of the video. Glimpses of several scenes, but that's about it. So what it is like not to remember past lives. This topic and this question is very big, and it opens many answers and many possible perspectives. And just like Mari said, it will depend on each person and how they view their life experience, on their personality, on their mentality. In general, it will be unique for everybody. It has its pros, and it has its cons not to remember past lives. So I will mention some of them here for myself. However, the first answer that comes to my mind, first off the bat, when the question is asked, what does it feel not to remember past lives? I feel very relaxed. This is the first that comes to my mind. I just feel very relaxed, like I am resting from something. And it feels very good, very light. I feel lighter. I feel relieved in some way, and like I'm pausing from something, not so much from activities, maybe from that too, but just from something in my soul. And I think it does have to do with memories, because memories come with heavy burdens, a lot of emotional baggage, a lot of things that you do not want to remember. So in a way, there is really this part of me that feels I am relaxing here, and that's why, among other reasons, I can enjoy this experience here on Earth. I'm vacationing in a way. That's why I can see this experience on Earth in a different way that some people do. Though people who just want to escape from here and just see horrors and difficulties and all that. Well, for me, I feel like I'm here, like in a way it's the opposite. I'm here, yes, to face some challenges, because this life is not void here of challenges, but in a way I'm also resting from other types of challenges and emotional baggage that I think the memory here has a lot to do with this. Matthias, for example, looks at me sometimes and says, oh, you must be a young soul because you can just enjoy looking at the tree like you've never seen it in your life. You're just enjoying every single detail. But I don't think it's that. I don't think I am a young soul. I know I'm not. And from the story that I kind of was told about the past, I know that's not the case. It's more to do with the fact that I do not have that heavy memory through which I would be filtering my experiences against. So that's why, in a way, I am light, I'm happier, I'm to experience things in life, even like sitting on the ground without that heavy burden of those memories. Wow, it is really nice just to sit under the tree and not to remember anything, and just to be able to enjoy sitting under the tree. And maybe that's what Matthias is seeing, that lightness of spirit, that freshness, but it doesn't come from the fact that I am a young soul, or none of us really are young souls when you think about it, but it comes from that fact that part of me feels unburdened, so I'm able to look at details of my reality, like grass or rocks, through the unburdened filter of myself. I'm interacting with these life moments in a more unburdened way. And I even remember some time ago, a year ago, I was walking around and I had this feeling of like a desire, like a deep desire to go somewhere, foreign country, foreign places, everything new, leave everything behind and start something new, like even with a new identity of myself. And then I realized it's not a desire, it's a memory. I've done it. I have done it already. And in a way, this immersion experience could be that. And why did I desire that? Why did I remember it? And which, by the way, gave me a very like strong emotional feeling. I almost cried because I recognized that as a memory. Like, I've done it. I am doing it already. I am doing it. And why did I remember it in the first place? Because jumping into the unknown part of yourself, new form of identity, so to speak, without a memory, which no memory kind of helps to shape that new identity. It helps you to detach from what used to define you before. So everything that surrounds you in a way starts to define you in your interactions with that something. Even relationships, friends, if you notice, for example, you are different with that friend, you are different with that friend, you are different in that relationship, that other relationship brings something else out of you, and that starts to like shape your perception of yourself. Okay, I am calm when I'm with that friend, I am joyful when I'm with that friend. I mean, kind of like it diverts you into that definition of self. So I feel that if you break from that and you jump into the situation where there's no memories, no relationships, everything is completely new, you can start to reshape that definition of self. And that's very cool. And Mari mentions this also, that it can be viewed as a new reset of your new future, present, future, whatever, self, new identity. And many extraterrestrial races are actually coming here to this place on Earth with no memory, knowing that it will help them to reset some of their personality or mentality tendencies, because they will be able to gain new outlooks on life, not so to speak contaminated by their past experiences, even though the residues are still there, and I'll talk about that in the next point. So they are coming here and they are able to shape these new outlooks, gain some new perspectives on how to interact with situations, and then when they go back, they kind of take what they learned into their, let's say, previous identity, and they expanded with these new perspectives. So it is in a way a reset. It helps to reset many things. However, and this is the next point, I don't believe that reset is ever total, because the residues of what shaped you in the past, it still continues. So, and this was mentioned many times by our team members, that you carry through the incarnations different types of traumas, different personality traits, your core values. So in a way, I have no memories, but my core values, what I feel still defines me. In a way, it is sort of a memory still, because I believe those core values, I carry that from the past, and I am maybe redefining them or creating something out of them, but they are still there. And this also refers to the negative things, traumas. The residues are still there, and those residues can leave you feeling like you are still maybe melancholic about something, sad, and you don't know why. And this is the case with me. So how does it feel not to remember past lives? It feels light, I'm relaxing, but at the same time there is this, at the background of it all, there is this darkness and sadness and nostalgia. It's always been there, and I don't think I'll ever get rid of it totally. It's not at the foreground of my personality, but it's there. And I don't mean darkness as something negative, like something evil, darkness. No, I just mean something heavy, very isolated, very solitary, sad, nostalgic. So not remembering does it help with that nostalgia? I'm asking myself this question. Does it help not to know the source of those nostalgias? If I remembered what caused those nostalgias and that darkness, would it help me transmute it? Would I feel any better? Or is not knowing the source of that nostalgia what is helping and curing and transmuting? I'm not sure, because I don't have any memory. I don't know, so I don't know what it felt like to remember and whether it was helping me with that nostalgia. However, I don't think remembering does help with the nostalgia. For example, I'll again take SWARUU as an example, because, well, she was my close friend at that time, and she was sharing a lot of those nostalgias, and she remembered things. She remembered a lot of things. The same goes for Yaski, who also carries a lot of sadness, even though she is happy, but there is also sadness, and remembering is not helping her cure that sadness. No, it's always there, part of you, kind of integrated. So perhaps not remembering is okay. Maybe that's what I'm doing. I'm testing what it feels like not to remember the cause of those past traumas, and whether it will help my nostalgia. Like I said, in a way, it makes me feel lighter. Like I'm already discovering that part is helping. Like, wow, it's so nice just to look at the birds and not having to think about anything else or remember anything. But the moments come when that sadness does come out, that melancholia rather than sadness. And another point that is related to this, not remembering those past experiences, some of them can become shadows and can go into your unconscious realm. No, as Yaski always says, it's what shapes and what manifests your reality. You don't create and manifest from your conscious self, so to speak, but from your unconscious self as well, if not even more. So I remember Yaski once said, remembering helps in the sense that the cycles of some repetitive behaviors and patterns in your life could have its origin 11 past lives back. But if you don't remember, then you have a limited access to solve that, because you don't know how it started, how the pattern started. So in a way, you cannot look at it, examine and solve it and make it conscious and make that shadow dissolve, if that's what you are interested in. So in that case, not remembering it could be seen as a disadvantage. However, and these are like arguments and counter arguments, something I'm thinking out loud myself, even though you cannot maybe dissolve all of those shadows if you are not conscious of them, I still believe you can dissolve a lot of them. Even if you do not remember the cause. And here I fully believe that with your present conscious intention, you are able to transmute a lot of that and not depend on knowing in order to recreate yourself into something positive and integrated. Here, for example, I'm always kind of looking at those people who are always blaming their past, their childhood, for their behaviors, like, or their misery. Because, I had a bad childhood and my mom just disrespected me and my dad this and that, and this happened and that happened. Well, so what? Like, seriously, get over it already. Like, build yourself anew. I believe that each moment gives you that strength and opportunity and a creative force to say, no, I'm going to start something different. And even that statement already, no to that, is thanks to that what happened in the past. So in a way, we are always connected to the past. But what I'm saying is that with our conscious decision, conscious intention, and strength of character and positive attitude, we can create something new and decide something else. Kind of like Mari is doing with herself. She remembers her past lives, she remembers this and that, but her decision is now, I'm starting now with what I have learned. Yes, okay, but this is me now. I'm recreating myself, I'm starting anew in a way. So I do believe it is possible to always recreate yourself, create yourself, even without the access to that previous knowledge and information about yourself. However, and there's another however here, Mari did say that she's able to share a lot of these things in her channel because of her knowledge of the past lives, because it's something that she understands already from the past, many of these things. So here I'm going to throw a con of not remembering, for me, not being able to share much knowledge from my Taigetan, for example, life. And this is something that is a bit annoying to me sometimes, because I feel like I always have to depend on them for details on certain things, on how things work. Of course, yeah, you will say the knowledge is within you. Yes, it is, but there's no specific details. There's no specific memory on things. There's no technical knowledge. So I'm not able to share that with you. I am just, I just know things intuitively, like these kinds of insights that I'm sharing right now, more metaphysical stuff. But I don't have a memory exactly of, what's in Temer, what's that in that, what's on the ship, and this race in that race is this way or that way. I would like to know more, to be able to not to have to depend on them so much to share this information. I would like to be able to do like what Mari does, for example, share this information myself. So this way, I'm more independent, because I would love to continue doing this job, but a lot of it depends on them, and they are very busy, and of course they cannot be there all the time to answer questions. Interesting fact I'm going to share with you, some of you know this. I think that out of this desire to know, I have designed myself in my immersion program another program. That information was given to me by Aneka or SWARUU, I don't remember, or even Yaski herself. I think it's still valid. However, no, sometimes you never know, because these things happen there, change there all the time. But as far as I know, there is another program that I have in the immersion. I am here, program number 2, but there is a program number 1. I am program number 2. The program number 1 is finished already, because that was me before. They woke me up and they reset me. Yes, I don't know much about this, but I am program number 2, and then there is program number 3, and that's a little girl in Norway. She's around 13 years old. Interesting, yes, a similar age, Mari Yaski there, and supposedly she is fully herself, like she has full knowledge, because she looks exactly like my Taigetan self, which means she knows, and she will be discovering more and more as she grows, recovering her memory. So in a way, I feel like, okay, I fulfilled my plan of coming here in the immersion not knowing, and then my other program will be knowing. I was so kind of cheeky and brave here to come here twice at the same time, knowing and not knowing. So there is another version of me. Let's see what's going to happen with her. Sometimes I ask about her, and I think about 5 months ago or something, Yaski told me that, well, she's discovering, yes, herself, and she's sharing a lot with her family, which actually the family don't understand her. I remember I asked her, how do you know these things? And she just said, well, I have my way of knowing. I'm pretty sure Taigetans monitor her as well. It's just that I don't have much information. They don't want to tell me. And that's because I remember Aneka told me once before, your program number number 2, which is me, has instructed us not to reveal much about your program number 3. Craziness. So anyway, all these things, all these experiments with different variables of coming here to Earth, it's fun. It's fun stuff. So in summary, I definitely don't think it's necessary in any way to know anything about the past lives, to live consciously, create yourself each single day, and decide each single day what you want to be, what you want to create, what you want to fulfill. And Matthias, for example, some time ago was going to the psychics. That was years ago. He doesn't do that anymore. And he wanted to know what his other self was doing there, because that would help him to decide what he's supposed to be doing here. But I was telling him, what does it matter what you were doing before? I mean, decide what you want to do now. Just because you were doing something before in the past, it doesn't mean that it's shaping and defining your future path. For example, in my case, was I doing the videos before I came here? I doubt it. I was doing different things. I was doing other things, but now I'm doing the videos and I feel fulfilled. So you can come up with anything at any moment to be doing, and it doesn't have to be shaped by something you were doing in the past. Like that's not the only activity in the whole universe now that you are destined to be doing just because you were doing that in the past. Yeah, that's one of the things you were doing, and now you can choose to do a million other things. There's just infinite possibilities of what you can be doing. Just listen to your, to your energy and where it wants to take you. But there are different things you can do. So, in other words, in summary, it's not necessary to know your past lives at all. Just enjoying life as it is and building something every day. However, it's going to be different for everybody, and I do recognize that a lot of this peace and joy actually did come to me after I already knew. And I didn't remember, I never remembered, I just knew from what they told me. So them telling me part of my story, it did help me to gain some peace of mind and some released some of these nostalgias that I felt before. They were even stronger, because yeah, it was like I had the nostalgias, my usual nostalgias. What's happening? Tsunami. And then on top of that, I had the nostalgias of like not knowing, not understanding what is happening. I felt like a disguise to myself, and why am I in disguise to myself? Now I know more about the process of why I wanted to be a disguise to myself. So knowing that, them giving me that story about myself helped me to to live my life now more peacefully, understanding. However, I'm still not remembering, like I said, it's just something they gave me. However, they don't like to do it anymore because they do believe it does mess people up, and it's not actually always good. In a way, they say I'm like an exception. It really kind of didn't affect me in a bad way. There are other people, of course, too, that this didn't affect in a bad way. But I don't have any further desire to absolutely know everything. I mean, I want to know out of fascination, like I'm just curious, that's all. And in fact, if someone came to me and gave me a pill, would you want to know or would you not want to know? I would choose a knowing pill. But that's not because I'm dependent on that for anything, but it's because I just have this tendency to want to know everything, period. Like if I'm talking about engineering with Athena and she says that copper conducts electricity more than silver, for example, I want to know like why. What does the copper have? Even though I'm not like technically minded, I still in that moment have that question. So I just have questions about everything, and I want to know everything out of pure curiosity about knowing everything, understanding things, and that includes myself. But not dependent for that for anything to continue to live my life. So that's it. There could be more thoughts about this, of course, but it's just something that came to me randomly to share with you now. I'm going to go because I have to record this now in Spanish. Enjoy your lives during this earthly incarnation, whether you remember or not. Bye bye, everybody. Hugs to all.